Have you ever reached for something on a high shelf or simply turned too quickly, and for a terrifying split second the world just seemed to tilt? Your heart hammers in your chest as you catch yourself. That jolt of adrenaline, a stark reminder that your sense of balance isn't what it once was. It's a deeply unsettling feeling, that sudden loss of control, making you question your own body's reliability. It can make you hesitant to walk on an unfamiliar sidewalk or even move confidently through your own home. But what if you could systematically and gently rebuild that trust between your brain and your body? What if you could regain that feeling of being solidly planted on the earth? So before you get comfortable, take some time to like the videos and subscribe to the channel, but only if you really like what I'm doing here. I'm always curious to see where our community is tuning in from, so please feel free to share your city and the current time in the comments below. It's a wonderful way to see how far these conversations can reach. Let's explore the first of these 6 simple movements, one that retrains your body for the real world in a way that feels both safe and incredibly effective. Exercise 1. We begin with something called the heel-to-toe walk. I want you to imagine you're walking on a narrow beam, but with the safety of the floor right there beneath you. You're standing, perhaps with one hand lightly touching a wall or a countertop for support. You take a step forward, placing the heel of your front foot directly in front of and touching the toes of your back foot. It's a slow, deliberate, and controlled movement. The reason this is so profoundly effective is that it challenges your dynamic balance, your ability to stay stable while in motion. Life isn't lived standing still. You are constantly navigating around furniture, stepping off curbs, or walking through a crowded store. This exercise mimics those narrow pathways and forces your body and brain to work in perfect harmony. It awakens the tiny, often neglected stabilizing muscles in your ankles and feet, and it fine-tunes the communication between your inner ear, your eyes, and your limbs. I had a patient once, a wonderful woman named Helen, who had become so fearful of falling that she shuffled her feet everywhere she went. She confessed to me that her world had become very small. We started with this simple heel-to-toe walk, just 3 steps forward and 3 steps back, right alongside her kitchen counter. At first, she was wobbly and frustrated, but she trusted the process. Within a few weeks, she was no longer just exercising, she was retraining her confidence. She was teaching her body that it could be trusted again. Doctors still believe that the precision of this movement is more important than the speed or distance. It's about feeling that momentary instability as you place your foot and allowing your body to correct it, strengthening the entire system with each tiny adjustment. So, you find your supportive surface, you keep your gaze fixed on a point in front of you, not down at your feet, and you take your first careful step. Now that you've practiced maintaining your balance while in motion, you're going to focus on foundational stability. Think of this next movement, the single leg stance, as the anchor that keeps you secure. You are standing next to your sturdy surface, your feet are hip-width apart, and your posture is tall and relaxed. You gently shift your weight onto one leg, letting the other foot become light on the floor. When you feel steady, you lift that light foot just an inch or 2 off the ground. That's it. The goal isn't to lift it high, but to simply stand on one leg. You might notice your standing ankle working hard, making dozens of tiny, almost imperceptible movements. This is a very good thing. You are waking up your body's proprioceptive system. It's internal GPS that tells your brain where your limbs are in space without you having to look. Every wobble is a conversation between your foot and your brain, strengthening a connection that can weaken over time if not used. This connection is what allows you to instantly correct your balance when you step on an uneven paving stone or misjudge a step in the dark. It's your body's automatic, life-saving reflex. I once worked with a retired teacher who confessed her greatest daily fear was getting in and out of the bathtub. That simple act of lifting one leg over the side felt like a monumental risk. We started practicing this single leg stance, holding it for just a few seconds at a time, several times a day. She used her kitchen counter for support, and slowly she began to feel the strength building in her standing leg. More importantly, she started to trust it. The victory wasn't when she could hold the stance for 30 seconds. It was the day she came in and told me she had taken a bath without a second thought, her body moving with a confidence she hadn't felt in years. Doctors still believe that it is far more beneficial to hold a steady pose for a shorter duration, say 10 to 15 seconds, than to wobble unsteadily for a longer period. Focus on the quality of your stability, keeping your hips level and your core engaged, rather than just trying to beat the clock. So you feel that grounded leg supporting you, your gaze soft, and you simply hold, and you breathe. Having practiced both your moving and stationary balance, you're now ready to add the crucial element of power. True stability isn't just about being steady. It's about having the strength to move with intention and control. This is where the assisted chair squat becomes one of the most valuable tools in your arsenal. You are standing in front of a sturdy, non-rolling chair. A solid dining chair is perfect. Your feet are positioned about shoulder-width apart, and for initial support, you can lightly rest your hands on a kitchen counter in front of you or on the arms of the chair. You initiate the movement by sending your hips backward as if you were about to sit down. You lower yourself slowly and with control, keeping your chest up and your back straight. You go down until you feel your legs have done some real work, perhaps until you're just an inch or two above the chair seat, and then you push through your heels to return to a standing position. The key is that this movement isn't driven by momentum, it's powered by your muscles. You're rebuilding the very engines, your quadriceps and glutes, that lift you from a low couch, get you out of a car, and allow you to stand up from the dinner table without pushing off with your hands. These everyday actions are often where a moment of weakness can lead to a dangerous imbalance. I remember a gentleman I worked with, an avid bird watcher, who had given up his walks in the woods because he feared he wouldn't be able to get back up if he sat on a low rock or log. The idea felt too risky. We incorporated these assisted chair squats into his routine. He started by barely lowering himself at all, but with persistence, he went deeper and used less and less support from his hands. The day he came in with photos of a scarlet tanager he had spotted on his favorite trail, a trail he hadn't walked in over a year, was a profound reminder that this isn't just about exercise, it's about reclaiming the parts of your life you love. Doctors still believe that mastering the form of the squat is far more important than achieving a certain depth. It's about ensuring your knees track in line with your feet and that the movement comes from your hips, not from bending your back. This protects your joints and ensures you're building strength in exactly the right places. So you find your chair, you get your footing, and you begin that slow, controlled descent, feeling that power building in your legs. You have built strength for moving up and down, but so much of our stability depends on our ability to control side-to-side motion. Think about stepping sideways to let someone pass in an aisle, or how your body has to catch itself if you trip over the edge of a rug. This is where your hip muscles come into play, and they are often the unsung heroes of fall prevention. So you are now standing tall, with a hand lightly on your supportive surface. Your feet are close together, and your core is gently engaged to keep your spine straight. You are going to perform a side leg raise. Keeping your legs straight, you slowly lift it out to your side, leading just slightly with your heel. The movement is not about height, it's about control. You lift the leg only as high as you can without leaning your upper body to the opposite side. Then, with that same deliberate slowness, you lower it back to the starting position. The reason this simple, small movement is so powerful is that it directly targets your hip abductor muscles, particularly a key muscle called the gluteus medius. This muscle is the primary stabilizer of your pelvis. When it's strong, your pelvis stays level as you walk. When it's weak, one hip can drop with every step, creating an unstable, wobbly gait that dramatically increases your fall risk. A strong set of hip stabilizers is like having a perfectly balanced chassis on a car. It keeps you steady and secure through every turn. I once worked with a gentleman, an avid dancer in his younger years, who was frustrated because he no longer felt graceful or steady on his feet. He felt a slight giving way in his hip. We isolated